This is a short reel.
Welcome to the short reel. Last week, I know that we said that we were going to talk about Marjoe Gortner this week, but time and life gets in the way. You know how it goes. So instead, we're going to listen to a guy named Ryan Mason. I don't know if you know this man or not, but he's a real reprobate, but he is ours. So I'm going to hand you over to Ryan as he talks about his Oscar picks for this year's big event.
This is Ryan. That's right, Ryan. It's Oscar season, and while there's always someone that reminds me that it's all bullshit, I really don't care. I love this time of year. It exposes me to new movies I've never heard of, which is ultimately the point. Along with some personal influences, Oscar season has really helped to shape my love of movies and broaden my horizons. So even though no one asked for it, here are my predictions for the primary categories. And for the record, I've seen every Oscar Best Picture nominee before the actual show. I rule. On to the Best Picture nominees. The nominees are Ford vs. Ferrari, The Irishman, Jojo Rabbit, Joker, Little Women, Marriage Story, 1917, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Parasite. My prediction for the winner is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I believe that Hollywood loves an homage and for some reason loves that egomaniacal prick, Quentin Tarantino. What I want to win is Parasite, probably the most brilliant flick in the bunch. It's best to go into it without knowing what it's about. Let it unroll before your eyes and you'll be astonished. My fear is that it'll be given the Best International Film as a consolation prize. What should have been nominated? Knives Out. My favorite screenplay this year and top-notch acting all around. The movie is airtight, and Ford vs. Ferrari, The Irishman could easily have taken a back seat to this one. Yes, The Irishman. Scorsese has done gangsters so much better. For an actor in a leading role, the nominees are Antonio Banderas for Pain and Glory, Leonardo DiCaprio for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Adam Driver for Marriage Story, Joaquin Phoenix for Joker, and Jonathan Pryce for The Two Popes. My prediction is Joaquin Phoenix. It's kind of a given this year. He's gotten all the press and won most, if not all, of the major awards this season, and it is a great performance. Who I would want to win? Adam Driver. I believe he was pitch perfect in this role, and he could have easily been nominated for The Report also. I love this guy's work more and more every year. Who should have been nominated? Adam Sandler for Uncut Gems and Roman Griffin Davis for Jojo Rabbit. While Uncut Gems didn't really do it for me, Sandler was unbelievably good. I love the man whether he's doing the goofy shit or the dramas. He's a great actor who deserves to be recognized, but the Academy doesn't take him seriously. Robin Williams ultimately got his due, and hopefully Sandler eventually will. Davis, a child actor, was so funny, heartbreaking, and real. He was wonderful as the wannabe Nazi youth with Hitler as his invisible friend. I loved his performance, and I adored this movie. For the actress in a leading role, the nominees are Cynthia Erivo for Harriet, Scarlett Johansson for Marriage Story, Saoirse Ronan for Little Women, Charlize Theron for Bombshell, and Renee Zellweger for Judy. My prediction? Well, it's kind of a tough one. I haven't seen Harriet or Judy, but Zellweger won the Golden Globe, and for that reason I think the Academy will go with someone else. I'll go with Saoirse Ronan. Little Women was excellent, and she's consistently great. Check out Brooklyn for details. Who I want to win? Saoirse Ronan. Who should have been nominated? Lupita Nyong'o for Us. Another actress that's always great. She was chilling and disconcerting in this role. The Academy isn't always fair to the horror genre, so I think that's why she was overlooked. Or it could be that she's black. They do that too. For an actor in a supporting role, the nominees are Tom Hanks, A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, Anthony Hopkins for The Two Popes, Al Pacino for The Irishman, Joe Pesci for The Irishman, and Brad Pitt for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. My prediction? Brad Pitt. He was electric as Cliff Booth, and it might be my favorite role of the year. Who I want to win? Pitt. He is long overdue. Who should have been nominated? Kang Ho Song for Parasite. It was a tough role to play, starting out as despicable and finishing sympathetic, but he nailed it. The scene where he's hiding under the coffee table listening to his boss run him down is so uncomfortable, and his quiet sadness radiates to the screen. Can't say enough about this movie. For an actress in a supporting role, the nominees are Kathy Bates for Richard Jewell, Laura Dern for Marriage Story, Scarlett Johansson for Jojo Rabbit, Florence Pugh for Little Women, and Margot Robbie for Bombshell. My prediction? That's another tough category. All these performances are solid. I think and I hope that they go with Kathy Bates, who played the grieving, forlorn mother of Richard Jewell. Her press conference scene alone deserves the trophy. Who should have been nominated? Jamie Lee Curtis and Toni Collette for Knives Out. Either one, it doesn't matter. They're both underrated actors, especially Collette, another actor who's always great. She was robbed last year by not getting nominated for Hereditary. Robbed, I say. For directing, the nominees are Martin Scorsese for The Irishman, Todd Phillips for Joker, Sam Mendes for 1917, Quentin Tarantino for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Bong Joon-ho for Parasite. My prediction is Sam Mendes. Incredible direction on 1917. It's an impressive movie to watch as it's made to look like it's shot in long sequences and it was shot in order, which is very difficult to do, especially if you're shooting outdoors. Who I want to win? Sam Mendes. Who should have been nominated? Greta Gerwig. It's bullshit that she wasn't nominated. There's some Best Picture wins in her future, though. She's the real deal. Also, Taika Waititi did an amazing job on Jojo Rabbit. The opening credits sequence is exhilarating. For writing adapted screenplay, the nominees are Steven Zaillian for The Irishman, Taika Waititi for Jojo Rabbit, Todd Phillips and Scott Silver for Joker, Greta Gerwig for Little Women, and Anthony McCartan for The Two Popes. My prediction is Greta Gerwig. I believe she deserves to win. However, I think she'll primarily win out of social criticism that she didn't get a nomination for directing. That's a bullshit way to award someone, but that's the Academy. All that aside, her script is excellent and very deserving of the award. Who I want to win? Taika Waititi. I laughed out loud so many times during this movie, and so did the people around me. It's the wittiest, smartest comedy script I've seen this year. Thank God it's not in the original screenplay category with Knives Out. I would be so torn. Who should have been nominated? Scott Z. Burns for The Report. What an American nightmare this story is, and Burns captures it perfectly. And for writing for original screenplay, the nominees are Rian Johnson for Knives Out, Noah Baumbach for Marriage Story, Sam Mendes and Christy Wilson Cairns for 1917, Quentin Tarantino for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Bong Joon-ho and Han Jin-won for Parasite. My prediction is Tarantino. I truly enjoyed this movie and most of his body of work, but I can't stand Tarantino as a human being. He's a considerable talent, but he's not a great guy. Who I want to win? Rian Johnson. This movie deserves so much more. It's one of the best of the year and the script is top shelf. So smart. Much like Gerwig, Johnson has some best pictures in his future. Who should have been nominated? Jordan Peele for Us. I think he's the next George A. Romero for his uncanny ability to combine social commentary with horror. Of course, nowadays reality is horror, so maybe it comes easy to him. I hope you enjoyed my picks. I'd really love to hear yours on social media. Check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Coming soon to this drive-in theater.
Next week, we're going to the Oscars, but it's not the Oscars of 2020. We're actually going to the Oscars in 1981 and 1975 with The Coal Miner's Daughter and The Conversation. That's it for the short reel this week. You can connect with us by following us on social media at All Night Drive-In on Twitter and Instagram, by searching the All Night Drive-In Picture Show on Facebook, and by emailing us at allnightdriveinpictureshow@gmail.com. Please subscribe to and rate and review the show on Apple Podcasts or on your favorite podcatcher if possible. And more importantly, tell your friends. Sneaking your friends into the show in the trunk is definitely allowed at the All Night Drive-In Picture Show. I mean, Stubbs probably won't like it, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So we'll see you next week on the All Night Drive-In Picture Show. Thanks for listening.
The Short Reel is edited and produced by Markham Harvey. Our theme song is by Burning Mirror and edited by The Night Watch. I'm your announcer, Lila Pseudonym. This has been a Clown Business Coalition production. Thank you and good night.